Hey guys, welcome to Rogue Reviews. Today we're doing a very special movie review for a movie that we've been waiting for a very long time. Nolan's still shell-shocked. And yeah, it has arrived. What'd you think?
Oh, God.
Heebie-jeebies?
I went home and turned on every light in my house. And the person that I'm living with left a red balloon for me on my chair. So
I saw that.
You know who you are. Yeah, that was not cool. I literally went home and turned on an old classic Donald Duck cartoon, a Disney one, and just kind of mellowed out a little bit, and then I still couldn't sleep because I kept seeing that freaking clown whenever I closed my eyes. So yeah.
Our nightmares aside.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, it's a fantastic movie. The whole, just everything about it, I think it transcends the horror genre. This isn't a horror movie. Granted, I've only seen about maybe 3 horror movies in my life, so not the expert. But Annabelle felt like a classic horror movie that was well done. It was all those tropes that normally in a horror movie, just all right, they did it well. This one felt like this is a great movie with horror elements to it. And when the horror happens, it's terrifying. But I think the thing that really makes this movie special is the kids themselves. Their chemistry, it just had such that Goonies, Stranger Things vibe going on about it. That's what really puts this movie over the top as a horror movie for me.
Definitely. This movie is beautifully done. Beautifully done. Amazing editing, amazing directing, amazing cinematography. The cinematography blew me away. This movie felt really real, but still very fantastical in a way, a foreign story. I touched base on the trailer reaction that we did for it, how it's this very storybook still vibe and tale, that it provides, at least in the book and in the original. They kept in this new rendition, and I love that about it, where you're now transported into the town of Derry. And the kids, Skarsgård, they sucked you in, man. They were fantastic. The kids were amazing. They were so charismatic. They were quippy, and man, F-bombs left and right.
Yeah, they were.
Because cussing's cool for kids, and
hey, I mean, it was the 80s,
I know, right? It's pretty funny because it's very true. I mean, kids it's the cool thing, and I think the chemistry between them was just spot on. You could tell they were friends for their entire lives, or at least a very long time. They had a great chemistry.
I mean, to have every kid actor knock it out of the park, sometimes when you have these bigger ensemble casts, there's one kid that's the weaker link, and you're all right, we'll just have to go. These kids all did a great job, and Skarsgård, oh my,
every kid had their moment, and it was really cool because every kid had their story fleshed out a little bit, and they did keep very true to the book, or I guess very similar to the TV adaptation that we got in the 90s, and every kid kind of, I guess, showed us what they're most afraid of, which is obviously what it feeds on, is fear. And that was really well done because it brought in familiar elements, what's coming, but then they just pushed it way overboard times 10, and it was really, really cool. There's not just, a balloon popping in the sink for Bev. You'll see what happens. It's just far more terrifying than what we got in the 90s, and it wasn't just overblown to be overblown for the sake of being a modern-day movie. It was just so perfectly done. So super exceeded expectations. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I know I was freaked out, but at the same time, I was in the back of my head, I'm this is just so well done. Everything about this movie is just hitting on all the marks, and just how creepy it is. It's Stephen King is a messed up dude, so just everything about the movie and where they take it. As someone who hasn't seen the original movie or read the book, just how they weaved in all these stories together and just made it natural. And this being a part 1 of a 2-part movie franchise, just making this installment feeling fulfilling on its own without being here's a big cliffhanger, at the end or something. It felt so satisfying as a movie as a whole. Is a great standalone, but also when hopefully the second one knocks it out of the park as well. It's going to be a great two-parter.
That's a great segue into the next, I guess, discussion we can go into, and that is how this is almost set up for a two-parter without being a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I think that was beautifully done with the direction and the writing and all that, where this movie, like you stated earlier, it's not a horror movie at its core. It's really not. The scares that we get from it are geniusly done.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I'm sitting there like, I wasn't as terrified as I thought I was going to be, more so like, dude, this is so like cool. It's happening like right in front. I don't know. A lot of the designs, a lot of the scares, a lot of the creepy elements that they chose to go with instead of the conventional scares, it made it very creative and almost in a childlike manner because we're dealing with kids. And it's not like, the boogeyman around the corner. Like, there are scenes where you would picture it as if you were a kid imagining this terrifying thing happening in front of you, and how they captured that.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Yeah, they really shot everything almost from a kid's perspective, very low on the ground, like it is way up high, everything. And yeah, it's not the conventional jump scares that you get in a horror movie. It's almost more psychological at points. Like they'll have a well-placed jump scare here and there, but it's more of like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, why is this happening?
I love that. I love the slow burn, as I know we talked about with Annabelle, where it's you're just seeing it happen in front of you and you can't do anything about it. And I love the directors are catching on to that as a scare tactic, and it works beautifully in this movie. Going back to how this is definitely the kids part of this movie, it left me with a few things that I wanted that I was almost bummed I didn't get in this first movie, but now thinking about it, it's most likely going to come in the second. And that is just a more developed character analysis of it, is something like that. And the scene that, we didn't hear much of him. I don't know. The scene that was leaked prior or the
released,
with
Annabelle.
You've all seen it, is when he's talking to Georgie. That's kind of the most you hear him really converse.
Yeah.
And but that conversation, don't get me wrong, was amazingly done. It was beautiful, but I just wish there was a little more from it, like a little more dialogue instead of, because he can be creepy, but I thought the conversation was one of the more creepier moments, was just hearing him talk.
I think that's like we said, like, it's probably going to come in the second movie. Like, they spent all this time developing these things as kids, which I think casting, which we're going to do like a theory video of like who we think is going to be casting these roles. Casting is going to be essential for the second movie to just have the chemistry that these kids have transferred on into the adults, so we don't have to get into their backstory, because we are like, all right, these are these people grown up. Now, like, all the terrifying stuff that happens to them as adults we can just go right in. So I think Skarsgård is going to have more of a chance to shine in the second one, but like every time he was on screen, for me at least, I was like,
killed it.
Yeah,
he killed it. He was Pennywise.
Yeah,
it couldn't have been better. I mean, and obviously, if trying to fill the shoes of Tim Curry, you don't fill the shoes, you wear a different pair, and that's what he did exactly. And it was so good. He did a great job. I love the guy as an actor anyway. He's going to be an upcoming for sure. I mean, hopefully this film skyrockets his career, which it should. There's 8 Skarsgårds, or five kids or 8 kids.
I know.
Like that.
Yeah. I actually liked his older brother. I actually want his older brother to be cast as the older Billy.
Really?
Yeah, that's my.
That's my one video leak right there.
Yeah. Just that's where my head's at. I'm like, Alexander Skarsgård, Tarzan. He actually kind of looks like Billy grown up. Like, I could see that like transition. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, that would be a really cool dynamic,
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I mean, it's really it's good and it's bad. They set the bar really high.
Yeah.
With this first part, the second part, dude, it is set up to just kick it and blow it out of the park or knock it out of the park. We'll see, because it could just as easily crumble and fail. Yeah. But I have trust, because this movie just killed it. And like I said, having a different dynamic going into the second part with an adult feel, I think being even more psychological, switching the mindset to now their 30s and 40s, which is really interesting.
So, what would you rate this movie? On a scale of I crap my pants to, dear Lord, that was good.
It wasn't a horror movie, though.
Dude, for me it was, right?
Okay. It was a horror movie. It was scary.
Yeah.
Best scare for me was Bills, for sure. I thought that was really good. I don't know. The rest of them, Bills was good.
Yeah.
I liked Bills. But then again, the new kid, his scare was creepy too. I don't know. I have a thing for like dead bodies, and you see a lot of weird decomposed bodies in this movie.
Yeah.
I have a thing. I just can't do those. Like that's my fear. Decomposed skeleton. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. It rating. I'm gonna give it just shy of perfect. I'm gonna give it a 9. There were a couple things that I wanted, but I'm talking minuscule. I'm at the ending. Obviously, it had to end that way. I wanted more, but leaving the theater and thinking about it, it probably ended just as it needed to. But that's my only thing with it. I wish there was a little more to it. Other than that, there were just certain parts where it almost felt like they had to do this sequence of events that way, and you could almost tell that's what's coming. And there were a couple moments like that, just simply because I knew the story, so I knew what was coming in a way. And that was just, that's really it for knocking it. 9's an amazing score. It was an amazing movie. So well done, to the point where they film just him waxing the boat for Georgie. It's those little things in directing and cinematography that just, like, lights me up. And I love that they did that. They put the time and effort into it. Beautifully done. I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, like, for me, not a horror fan, as you can tell. Haven't read the book, haven't watched the Tim Curry version. For me, just going straight in, just watching like this amazing marketing campaign that they put together. Like, this movie's gonna crush at the box office because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
And just going in and like just being freaked out by also being totally compelled with the story, totally compelled with these kids. Even like the bullies, like they just give everybody a moment to shine to where you feel bad for them, even if they're a total dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just amazing. I'm like, how can they fit this all in this movie? And they did. Combine that with Skarsgård just freaking me out.
Lots of drool.
When his eyes just go dead, you're like, oh,
you notice his lazy eye, right?
Yeah.
I loved how they used that into the scare tactics of it. It was pretty cool. They wired it into his character. So good.
But it was a great movie-going experience. See this in a theater for sure, because there wasn't a lot of screams in our theater. Everybody was just like tense. Everybody was like sitting in their chair, like.
You could hear everyone kind of go quiet. Like all the popcorn munching would stop.
Yeah.
And as the scares are happening.
Yeah. So for me, I'd probably go 9.2 for it. It's probably going to be the only horror movie I own on Blu-ray.
Yep. Or that'll get a 9 anytime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe part 2. I don't know.
Probably. So.
Well, there it is, guys. It's good. You've been hearing it from everybody. You heard it from us. I think we brought a little bit of different stuff to the table, going into more depth. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, dislike it, whatever. Sorry. We'll keep doing reviews regardless.
Yeah.
Please subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next review or reaction.
If I can sleep.
Oh, yeah. Don't get like weird insomnia syndrome.
I'll try.
There's a movie about that.
Yeah.
It was on Sci-Fi Channel. These people stayed up for like 2 weeks and killed each other. We'll find it. I'm going to find that movie and we'll review it.
I just want to stop seeing clouds in my sleep. Bye, guys.
Bye.